Hello, storytellers and book lovers. Welcome to Reader's Magnet author interview. Today, I'm very excited as we tackle this heartwarming book and that show you how to be a good volunteer, that you will be able to draw closer to God, make influence and difference in other people's life, set a good example for your kids, and grow personally when you volunteer. Today we have in the line Jamie Pulos-Fry, the author of the book Servant's Heart from the Voice of a Volunteer. Hey Jamie, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Trish.
Good morning. You look good today. And I hope you have a copy of your book for us
I
to
sure
show to
do.
your
Here it
readers.
is.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie, can you tell us what the story is all about?
Well, it's about the heart of a volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I noticed some things at where I was volunteering, and I needed to address them in a book because I had never seen a book like this in a Christian environment. And so basically, what I did was I thought that a volunteer is
Mm-hmm.
important. They do a lot. They're needed. Um, it's there's many reasons why you would like to be a volunteer, and one of them is you'll be able to draw closer to God, and another
Right.
you'll know you're making a difference in other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you are setting a good example for your kids, and you're also growing personally as well. There are many
Right.
reasons why you could be a volunteer, but mine is from the servant of a volunteer from my heart, not just for putting on a resume or a career experience. So these are things that you can, learn from my book.
Wow, interesting. I know you have several years of experience as a servant leader from your ministry and from your family, but I know that this perspective of yours really turns out to be in writing. What inspired you to write this book, Jamie?
Well, I did it, like I said, because I saw so many things out there
Mm-hmm.
that needed to be addressed. Plus, I did it because I wanted to influence other people to see that volunteers are important and they're needed out there. Um, Most volunteers, we're doing three things at once. We're holding out three things at church. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
choir. I serve in the bookstore, in the coffee shop, as well as I also serve meals for lunch or dinner sometimes at the college. So we're
Mm-hmm.
always doing more than one thing, and we do need more volunteers. So that's part of the reason why I wrote this book is volunteers are important and we need more out there.
Wow. And for sure, readers out there would be very interesting as they find a sense of fulfillment in you and into the book. Now, what would you like your readers to learn out from the book, Jamie?
Well, that hmm. Well, it's really just getting closer to God,
Mm-hmm.
using and learning from people around you when you're volunteering. When you volunteer, you have a supervisor, you have
Mm-hmm.
other volunteers with you, and there's a person. And when you're working in the food industry, in a chef is your boss basically, as well as God.
Right.
But you report to that chef. There's a supervisor in between, and there's other volunteers that you serve with. Those volunteers are like you. They all have
Mm-hmm.
questions. You need to know who to go to. We serve with older people, younger people. They're all different. They all think differently. The supervisors, depending on what day and what night you're serving, like to set up things differently. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that it's best to go higher up sometimes, because if you have questions, you need to go to the person. A different chef might want to do the same meal a different way. So you need to go to them and find out what condiments they want, what things they want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not the same thing every single week, and that's something
Right.
people have to learn. Things change depending on who you're serving with, and it can change from year to year. It can change from week to week, and you need to know that don't just the same old thing. We're all it's got you've got to have an open mind to change, and that's the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody doesn't see that. They just think, oh, I'm doing the same thing every single week, and I come in and I do this and that. No, if you look at it that way, You've got the wrong idea about being a volunteer from your heart. You need to be able to be open to change. And
Mm-hmm.
that to me is hard. For me, it's really
Mm-hmm.
hard. I have to do it in small bites. I can't do it in big ones. So if I see something and I'm not sure, I'm going to go ask a question. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just going to assume it's the same thing every single week. That's something I had to learn to do. And there's some supervisors you have a hard time with, and some are really
Mm-hmm.
simple and easy to deal with. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got to learn. You're dealing with different ages. You're dealing with, people that are 20 years older than you, some that are 20 years younger than you, and you have to respect that in return when you're serving
True.
people. And there's also places that you can serve. Some places could be a soup kitchen, it could be a church, a bookstore, a library, different places. It's not just serving at your church. um,
Mm-hmm.
you can even serve at work. There's volunteering doing something there, making
Right.
phone calls. It's not just about serving food. That's just where I started. Now I also help with making phone calls with somebody that does events for sports and stuff like that. I'm calling maybe 200 phone calls or to other churches, seeing if they'd like to come to the event. So there's different things that you do when you're volunteering. I also host classes sometimes when we have leadership conference. So there's
Mm-hmm.
many things you can get involved in, and it's not. And we have bus ministries. We have different things you can help with. So there's more out there than most people think. There's a range of ages also. Students, widows, teachers, stay-at-home
Mm-hmm.
moms. That be interested in this book because it's about teaching them why a volunteer is important.
Wow. Fascinating. And for sure, Jamie, it's not just a collective experience or a personality or a character. It is
No.
more on the love and the obedience and the reverence you have for the Lord. And
Yeah.
it says in Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work it with all your heart as working for the Lord and not for men. And I think that's your
Exactly.
inspiration, bottom line, Jamie.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Trish.
Yes. Now, I'd like to know because you were talking about influence and self fulfillment here as part of volunteering, and I really love the title of the book. I'd like to know what is the reason behind the title, Servant's Heart from the Voice and a Volunteer. Can
Well,
you tell us?
it started out, I was writing the book and I said, oh, servant's heart, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
started finishing it up and I said, you know what? It is from the voice of a volunteer. So I
Mm-hmm.
added that on there. It wasn't there at first. And then I thought, well, that's why the book is all about. It's about a volunteer. And but it's also about serving from your heart with love and care and kindness and different reasons for why we serve. We don't just serve just to be serving, just to be, oh, my mom wants me to go do this or my dad wants me to go do that. And I'm just
Uh-huh.
volunteering just to be volunteering. If you're not doing it from your heart, from kindness and love,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to show. And people are not going to want to serve around you because of that. Because you look like you're miserable,
Mm-hmm.
you're not having fun. If you can't do it for fun and enjoying it, then you need to go volunteer in a different place. I'm not saying don't volunteer, but this may not be what you like to do. You might want to use something else besides food. There's, we have, like I said, there's so many places that you can serve. We have so many ministries. Like I said, I serve in choir as well. And you
Mm-hmm.
can do many things, not just singing. I mean, there are people that put our music out. There are people that behind the scenes that serve and volunteer and do things. You can do things because you want to do something to help a group at church. There's kids, there's, many places that you can serve. But that was part of the reason why I started. That's where the title came from. It's from a volunteer.
Exactly. Interesting. I know for sure that it was not an easy process for you, JB. It really took you a lot of self denial, a lot of self doubt, and
Yeah.
confidence in order for you to be able to become wherever you are. And now for sure that is something that your readers needs to learn out from the book. The story of Jamie herself and the story of a servant heart from a volunteer
Yes.
herself. Jamie, where can we find your book?
Well, you can find them in my website. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Jamie's Bookshelf. and it's available at blurb.com as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can order them you know, anytime you'd like.
Again, the book is available, everyone, in Apple Books and in blurb.com. You can also visit Jamie's website. That's Jamie's Bookshelf. Jamie, thank you very much for being in the show. We appreciate your wisdom and all the sincerity out of this interview. There you have it, everyone. Jamie Pulos-Fry, author of the book Servant's Heart from the Voice of a Volunteer. It's going to be displayed in the upcoming American Library Association this June 23 to June 28, 22. So we'll definitely see Jamie's book in there and to truly show the heart of a servant. Jamie, for being in the show. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Trish.
Bye,
Bye.
Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.